Hi everyone, I hope all of you guys are doing well. So today is the day number 3 of our answer writing 100 days challenge. And on this day number 3, instead of actually going ahead and practicing an answer with you, showing you how to write an answer through an example where you practice with me, I'm going to go through 5 of the most important things that you should keep in mind when preparing for answer writing for UPSC. I thought why not take a break from the practice of answer writing and actually go through some of the basics so that you have a better understanding of answer writing. Now, remember, before I go into this video, I want to tell you that I am posting various questions, previous year questions, where you can pause the video with me, practice, and then come back and check your answers. I'm doing live answer writing practice, so I hope that will really help you. So that is also part of this series. So let's go ahead and dive into what is answer writing's 5 very important things to keep in mind when you are starting this particular thing about UPSC preparation. So the number one thing is start practice only after finishing topics or the content or the syllabus once from the books and the current affairs. So basically what I want to tell you through this is that you should never start practice of answer writing from day one. Lot of coaching institutes will tell you day one se aap shuru kar do answer writing. They will tell you that as soon as you are starting for UPSC preparation, you should go into answer writing. Well, that is kind of a very not a very wise advice. That does not make any sense, because unless you have covered various topics of UPSC, how can you go ahead and write the answers for them? So let's say there is a topic on disaster management, there is a question on disaster management, there is a question on polity, difference between American and Indian constitution, some sort of difference they are asking you, right? If there is a question on, let us say, India's national education policy, NEP. Now, unless you actually know these topics, unless you have studied them either in books or in current affairs, how will you go ahead and practice for answer writing? So I would say once you have finished at least one reading, and your concepts are your concepts are relatively clear. You have understood basics of polity, basics of economics, you have understood basics of environment, then you can go ahead and dive into answer writing practice. And then also you have to be careful. You don't want to decrease your confidence by thinking that mere ko to kuch aata hi nahi hai. You want to be sure that whatever you are practicing in answer writing, you have studied it at least once or twice before. And if you have not studied it, whether you are able to use your other derivative information, other kinds of information that you've learned to answer that question. All right, so finish the reading at least once and then only go ahead into answer writing. Now, so when does this happen? This happens 6 to 8 months into your preparation. After 6 or 8 months, you start feeling more confident about the content of UPSC. You have studied current affairs, you have studied some topics, you have finished some books like Lakshmikant or any other book. So then you start feeling confident, and then you have some knowledge base from which you can start answer writing. All right, so I would say wait at least until 6 to 8 months to start practicing your answer writing. So let's say you are starting your preparation of UPSC in July 2022. So I would wait until, let's say, November, December to start your answer writing practice. All right, that is the basic thing that you want to do. All right, so now let us move into the second point, which is give 2-3 months dedicated preparation to essay and answer writing before mains at least once. So what this means is that you should at least provide yourself good 60 to 90 days when you are focusing on answer writing on a day-to-day basis. And how to do that? Well, and when to do that? See, normally when you are preparing for UPSC, you have in mind that 1 to 5 years preparation will happen. So let's say the prelims are in June 2023. Okay, I will take next year example. You can apply to 2024 also. So you will take at least 6 to 8 months to at least cover the basics. So let's say you started studying in March 22. All right, so you have almost 1.5 years, 1 year, 2 months till next year when you started studying. So once you have finished by November 22, once you have finished your basics, then you want to give full 2-3 months from November. I would say the best time for this is actually November to Feb. These 3 months are the best best months when you can actually prepare properly for answer writing and essay writing, And in these 3 months, of course, you're not going to just do answer writing. You will revise. You will revise whatever you've studied for 6 to 8 months here in the initial stage from March till November. Whatever you've studied, you're going to revise it and you're going to write about it. You're going to practice in these 3 months. And once February comes, you will start preparing for prelims dedicatedly. Because in June, prelims are there, so you need at least 3 to 4 months dedicated preparation for prelims. So this 2-3 months you have to take out in between to prepare for UPSC answer writing after once you have finished the syllabus at least once. And that will also help you to revise, to become better in the content you have studied till so far, and then you can go to answer writing. All right, so that is how I will go about it. Thirdly, I would say keep the language simple. No flowery language, no sophisticated language, no high sounding words are needed for UPSC. Alright, definitely not. What you need is simple language with basic vocabulary, basic word power you should have, which you can use to answer your questions. And you can use this basic Uniball pen. This is a black pen, don't use this. Use a blue pen only. Alright, 0.7 mm. Uniball is a good pen. I always use this. Grammar, lot of people have problem with grammar and also with conceptualizing English within their brains, because we have normally studied in घर पे तो English कोई नहीं बोलता, तो इसकी वजह से क्या होता है कि lot of times we find difficult so a lot of times we find difficult to actually say something or write something that we are thinking, because we are thinking in another language. It doesn't come to us that easily. So when that problem happens, then there are a lot of YouTube channels where they teach basic English really well. So I would say that you use these channels. There's some British channels that teach it really well. So I would say that you can use those channels. All right. Focus on basics and fundamentals. Now again, going back to this point, that in UPSC mains, you don't need to focus on very, very much detailed things. You need to focus on the basics. You need to focus on general information. Now, general information का मतलब ये नहीं है कि आपको कुछ नहीं आता. In general information, it means that you should know at least concepts. You should know the details that are important, obviously, right? And you should understand the topic. You should understand the fundamentals behind it. So don't go for too much of PhD in anything. Go for the generalist understanding of things, and that will only come once your concepts are clear. And finally, practice. And that is why I started this 100 days answer writing challenge, so that you can practice. Because without